All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. A friend of mine who obviously shares my love of Michael Jordan sent this to me, and I didn't see this pop up on my feed, and this was a recent one by a BTM basketball time machine. And y'all know I'm a big fan of BTM. This one's called NBA Legends on how good Michael Jordan was with the Wizards. Now, I know I've covered this, but I don't get sick of covering this. So I love seeing like different takes and hearing new stories that I've never heard from this era of Jordan's career, because it's one of those things that like everyone wants to shame him for, and I'm sitting here in the corner going like, that was awesome. You know, it's like you ever like a movie and you know the majority of your friends say like that movie sucked, but deep down in your inside you're like, nah, I freaking love that movie. That was great. Y'all can screw yourselves. That's how I am with this. So anyways, as always, I highly suggest you check out BTM Time Machine. Fantastic channel. One of the godfathers of YouTube. And I'm going to link the original video down below in the description so you can check it out without my commentary if you like. And everybody else, please leave this video a like. It helps out the channel a lot. And we are slowly but steadily growing. And I'm having a blast here. So, all right, everybody. You ready to do this? 3, 2, 1, bang.
I have the mental challenges that I've had in the past to proceed as a basketball player, no matter what happens.
He didn't want to retire.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
Krause and Reinsdorf screwed everyone over.
If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David.
What up,
Thanks
Sean?
for tuning in. Let's talk some old school NBA basketball.
Let's do it.
Now, as we all know, Michael Jordan did not end his basketball career with the Chicago Bulls, but he actually played for the Washington Wizards. And many people, many fans say that this ride was not as great, or let's say they don't believe that Michael Jordan was any good. And in today's episode,
Yeah, right.
not only will I give you my opinion, but I will also show you that some of the greatest players and some other players have a different opinion. But
Yeah, I hope you get some of the younger players at that time. I seem to recall like Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, and a couple other ones where he's just, old Jordan was just busting their ass.
before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. If you like the show, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I would say enough of that. Let's get right down.
Yep, like and subscribe to BTM. You will not regret it. I love he's been using this theme song forever. It's a great intro.
Now the first player's opinion that we're going to take a look at is from Tyronn Lue, who played with Jordan, obviously, for the Washington Wizards. And
Oh, yeah,
the
he
interesting
did.
part is he actually talks a little bit about the mindset, what it was like playing with Michael at a time when you are such a fan and you don't know how to deal with him and everything. It was a pretty interesting insight. Let's take a look.
Real quick, what an interesting perspective, because Tyronn Lue, young Lue got to play with the Wizards with Jordan. Then he played against Kobe, and he inevitably, he got to play against LeBron too, right? And then he coached LeBron. So he's got quite an interesting perspective.
2001, you signed with the Wizards. What was it like playing with a 40-year-old MJ?
I didn't care if he was 90.
Yeah.
Like, man, come on, man. It was a blessing. When I first saw him, when he first called, initially, because he was part of the front office, and I heard his voice, I'm like, man, what? Are you serious? Like, MJ calling me? But then just when I first met him, just in awe, man. Like, just having a chance to, see Black Jesus in person. Man. I was in awe. And my first year playing with him, man, I didn't know what to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm throwing to him every time and just go stand. Or he's like, no, play. Like, but you just get so mesmerized by who he is. I'm about 40. He was 40. He averaged 20 points a game at the age of 40 on one leg.
Yep.
Because his knee was messed up.
Love that block.
And he played 82 games at the age of 40 on one leg and played all 82 games.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just tell you who he is.
And now he's dealing with load management from guys like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and he had to deal with it with LeBron. Imagine. I mean, I would be shocked if he doesn't just say it every so often. Yeah, 40-year-old Michael Jordan with a busted knee played all 82 games, right? And still averaged 20 per game. Like, contributed daily to the cause.
Now, the next clips that we're going to take a look at also involve Paul Pierce, who for a long time had Michael Jordan as his GOAT, but sometimes he switches back and forth. But let's stick with that. Jordan is his GOAT. Let's take a look what he has to
Once
say.
the cigar comes out, it's like he's already lighting the victory cigar before the competition. I had a chance to play against Michael Jordan, but it was when he had the Wizards uniform on, so it wasn't quite prime Michael Jordan. It was 40-year-old Michael Jordan.
Yeah. It's 39 and 40.
Jordan, to Laker. Nice pass. Michael Jordan.
I remember he still was a phenomenal athlete. He still had great footwork, and he actually gave me about 30 points.
Jordan over Pierce. He's got it. Michael Jordan equaled his season high, 31.
So it was like my third year in the league, and he was still probably one of the top 10 athletes in the game at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he trash talked a little bit. I remember him hitting the fadeaway, telling me you can't get to that.
Pierce.
Oh, man. So smooth still.
29 for Jordan.
He really had a rivalry with Antoine Walker, being that Antoine Walker was in Chicago, and these guys played against each other in pickup games in the summer, and him and Antoine Walker really went at each other quite a bit.
Oh,
Antoine,
that's cool.
He's one of the best trash talkers that ever played the game, but I think that game he wished he had just not said anything.
Yeah, I never knew Antoine as a great defender. A hell of a perimeter shooter, though. But Antoine should not be trying to guard Michael Jordan, even if he's 40 years old. I love how I always have it in my head because I know how MJ's brain works. And every time he had a young star like a T-Mac or a Paul Pierce or Kobe or Vince Carter and all these other dudes, he's like circling that day on the calendar to go like, okay, I got to get some rest before this game because I got to go out and show these young bucks that I got it.
Because he was still talking that shit.
Yep, still talking shit.
Still talking that shit. He was still skilled. It was just health with him. Mm-hmm. And I had to guard them. Them gave us 40. I got like 38 out of that shit too. Yeah. He was two dribbling. I ain't played the three in a minute. Flip like, nah, you the only one that can guard. I'm like, we got two guards on here.
And so we're playing the.
Man, I know a lot of you guys love the KG stories, like him as a storyteller. It's so funny, the sound effect, da da. Oh man, yeah. I guess part of the story that BTM probably not going to share with us is, according to KG in that video, Jordan calls him a hoe constantly, like, come on, hoe. All right, hoe. Come on, hoe. Just like busting him, playing defense and on offense, just like, come on, hoe. Come on. KG's just like, man, this fool calling me a hoe, but he's busting my ass out here so he can say whatever the fuck he wants. I'm sorry, man. I don't know why this shit's so funny to me. All right, Grant Hill. I know this story. This is good.
Wizards, and when I tell you,
Dan Patrick knows too.
In that first quarter.
By the way, this is how you know Dan Patrick has heard 1,000 stories about Michael Jordan, so immediately he's gonna start laughing. Check this out.
In the Wizards, and when I tell you, he torched me in that first quarter. Like literally, he gave me 20 points in the first quarter on the same play. Like he just ran the same play every time and did this, and I could not guard him.
And then, it was just word in the gym that he was coming back.
He looked good, P, when y'all played?
Man, he was killing. You have a gym, Meade, Swan, Sean Marion,
right,
Jordan, Ron Artest. You got, man, what?
Yeah.
It was crazy in there.
Good runs.
Man, good runs.
And they be locked down. When you in Chicago, they won't let nobody in that gym.
Yeah.
So it just be
how
y'all.
them runs was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of knew he was coming back. And so it wasn't no surprise when he came. I was excited because, I was matching up with him in the gym.
Talking that
Man, I wasn't really talking to him.
No, I'm saying he
was. Definitely he was. Like,
that's some going.
Watch out,
right.
Watch out.
Kansas.
Right. No, Mike. So, but I was loving the fact I had a chance to play against him, and You know, because that was my dream since he retired. So that was cool just to match up with him in an NBA game.
When he came back, bro, I wasn't shocked, but I was like, oh, this gonna make the league. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The Mike effect is a real effect.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great for the league when he came back, and I thought that he wanted to see where he aligned with some of these younger stars.
And I'll tell you an interesting story.
And not only that, I think so. Jordan wanted to square up against these guys, one, but I also think this was like his way of giving back at the end. We saw Kobe Bryant do a lot of that in his final years too, giving back. Jordan, he was demonstrating what greatness looks like and what it takes to achieve it to a whole new generation of kids. And it worked. You know, we saw some great people take over in the 2000s. It was more so past like 2010 that spirit kind of died off. Kobe tried, you know, like he was doing some mentorship with Tatum, Booker, and there was a couple other dudes that he had on his list, his Be Legendary list. But you know, the league has softened up now. But Jordan was his final like hurrah for himself, but also he wanted to prove that he can still do it to himself. And he was giving back to all these guys, like, hey, here's a glimpse, because there's a whole generation that didn't get to play against him. And we saw some of these greats, man. You know, Kobe, T-Mac, Paul Pierce, Vince Carter. Like we saw a lot of these guys emerge to be fantastic basketball players with great work ethics. And KG. I ain't leaving KG out. There's too many to list, though.
About the greatness of Michael Jordan. When I was coaching in Washington, we played the Indiana Pacers, and we were down 25 at the end of the third quarter.
Oh, we know this story.
And I took Michael out of the game, and I said, look, Michael, I know you think we can still win this game, but we got to play, you know, in 2 nights, and if we make a little run, I'll put you back in the game. Well, we didn't. Well, I found out that after the game was over that he had 8 points in the game, and he broke a streak of like 860-something games in double figures.
Yeah.
And so the media was on, you know, how do you think Michael's going to be with this? You know, I said, you know, look, Michael's got championship rings. He's got gold medals. He's got NCAA championships. He's got MVPs. He's not going to care about the 8 points. So he met with the media and agreed. You know, that bus is lonely as a coach when you're sitting there after you've got your head handed to you. So I was sitting on the bus, and actually Michael had hired me. He was the part owner and president GM, hired me to be the coach, and then he came back to play. I'll never forget this moment ever as a coach. That this to me was greatness. He got on the bus and he said, "Scoot over." And he looked at me and he said, "Do you think I can still play?" And I said, "Absolutely. That's why I'm here, to be here to help you." He said, "You know, to be my coach, you have to believe in me and believe I can still play." And I said, "Michael, I believe in you." He said, "You did the right thing tonight. You did the right thing tonight. I don't care about the points, but I needed to know that you believe in me." Fast forward, we get on the plane. He has a few cocktails, smokes a couple cigars, all the things you're not supposed to do. Yeah. We get back about 3:30 in the morning in Washington. At 7:30 that morning, he's down in the fitness room with Tim Grover, working out like you can't believe. Now, he's 41 years old. He
was 40 at this time.
Jersey Nets the next night. And Michael scores the first 3 times he has the ball. Byron Scott takes a timeout, and Michael comes over and he says, "I want the ball right there the rest of the game, and don't take me out till I tell you." And so that's fine by me. So with 2 minutes to go in the game, he gives me the sign like, "That's enough." I take him out of the game. He walks over to the bench. I said, "Michael, what happened tonight?" He said, "Well, the guy who was guarding me told me his back was hurting. Don't ever tell me you got a problem." He said, I'll make you pay for that." 51 points later. 51 points at age 41. He came back the next game with 46. And he looked at me and he said, "I told you I could still play." 97 points. I mean, Mike, I was absolutely blown away at what this guy could do. His mind, how strong it was. I mean, he's playing on one leg. I mean, he had cut his finger, with doing a cigar. He had his finger was bent. He had a bad knee. the competitive will and great. I've never seen anything like it. But that moment when he looked at me and asked me if I still believed in him, I said, "This is the greatest player to play the game. Wanting to know if I still believed in him." It was a moment I would never ever forget.
Okay, two quick takeaways from that. One, the way Michael Jordan is with his coaches. For those of you who don't know, Doug Collins coached the Bulls in the 80s before Phil Jackson and Tex took over. They were the assistants at that point. So Jordan never threw a coach under the bus. He never tried to get a coach fired. He always had a good relationship with every single coach he ever had. And it just proves it that, what was this? About 12 years later, if I got it correct, he hires Doug Collins in Washington and then ends up playing under him. And they have a great relationship. Like, there's never any bad thing being said either direction, from Doug to MJ or from MJ to Doug, just like respect. Two is, this is a reverse of what Michael Jordan normally does. Normally, Jordan has to fabricate something in his head or find something in the media or something that is bashing him, saying that he can't do it, saying he's not good enough. In this case, it was a funny thing. He needed to hear from his coach that his coach believed in him. And in return for that faith that Doug Collins had in Jordan, Jordan made it his absolute mission to prove Doug Collins right. Like, it's just, the psychology of it is just, it's crazy. It's crazy to me, but it works. It works so damn well for him. And yeah, man. Third is just, can you imagine going, like, if you're pretty much your entire career and never having a game where you score less than 10 points until like the very, very end, and then you come back and score 90 something in the next 2 games total? Like, come on, man. The dude like never lets himself have a bad game, and he would have had 10 if he would have played the entire game, but it was a blowout, like Doug says. I just think it's crazy. So many takeaways with that story.
You know, to me, the thing is why I always say that I'm grateful that Jordan played for the Washington Wizards. Number one, it was like an extra 2 years at a time where I didn't expect Michael Jordan to come back. And I remember how happy I was when he announced his comeback.
Me
then
too.
The other thing, it showed me that Jordan was still great even after not playing professional basketball for 3 years. And if you have fans who say that Jordan was a shell of himself, the dude did not play for 3 years. Do you know what that means? 3 years, and he's still putting up over 20 points a game. If you don't believe that he was great, there's nothing I can do, but to me, my opinion is clear. Anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Leave a like, and hopefully you'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Love it, man. I love these stories. Dude, it's crazy, the perspective I have now because I'm older. But back then, it was just a gift. I can just tell you emotionally, like the emotion that I had, like he said, how much joy he felt. I felt so much joy watching Jordan play at 39 and 40 years old. It was such a gift, such a blessing to get to watch. Like, it brought me so much joy when I was a kid, a teenager, and then now as a young adult, I got to experience it again. So I'll never bash that because it made me feel happy. But yeah, now that I'm older, I just turned 42 years old recently. It makes me think, like, I know where I was 2 years ago, and I was like in slightly better shape than I am now, and one less major injury than where I am now. But to go out there and play 82 games, 30 some odd minutes a game, and to still average 20 points, you got to be kidding me. In the pros, like, I can't imagine what he was putting his body through to accomplish this. And I have nothing but mad respect for it because, hey, I take myself pretty seriously when it comes to like what I can do, what I can accomplish, but I know what I can and can't do. I couldn't do that, man. So my hat is off to Mr. Jordan for doing it and doing it with such style and grace and doing it the right way. You know, he wasn't out there cheating. He was just out there competing. Hey, that rhymed. I do it all the time. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Go check out BTM if you know what's good for you. I'd give him a sub if you like basketball stuff. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this. I'll have a video for you guys tonight for the After Dark. And yeah, leave the video a like. It'll really help out. All right. Peace out, everybody.